my Lord, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel.
Lead vocalist Ruth Naomi Floyd sang "Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel" as one of the songs that arose during a turbulent time for people of color during the 19th century.
Deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? He delivered Daniel from the lion.
It's a question, didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And that for the enslaved Africans in America was the question. And not all of them, but a fair amount of them believed the answer was yes. Daniel was saved. Will he do the same for us and lock the jaws of this injustice?
My Lord, deliver Daniel, and why not every man? Run down in the purple street.
As part of the traveling exhibition series of American libraries of Lincoln, the Constitution, and the Civil War, the James Weidman Quintet presents improvisations and impressions of slave songs to an audience at the East Meadow Public Library.
And part of the special project that's done throughout different libraries, Lincoln, the Constitution, and the Civil War, we are presenting these spirituals, the Negro Spirituals. And we're presenting them in the context of what the result of this terrible war that occurred in the 1860s was going to be for African Americans. And I think the expression of everything that they felt in terms of wanting freedom and their hopes for a better tomorrow is encapsulated in these sacred songs that were created in the 19th century.
Hear the lambs a-crying.
There were songs that were created by African Americans during slavery. And around 1868, people went around and they became very interested in these songs. They started notating them because it was very different than the European style of singing. They were trying to notate the notes. They were having a difficult time about it. And it became so popular in the public conscious that when the Fisk University students started traveling to raise funds for their university, they were singing like European style concert songs. But there was this clamor to do the spirituals. So they started to really do, in a concert form, the spirituals. And they raised a lot of money as a result. So this became something that people really became very much interested in the late 19th century. And then throughout the early 20th century, I guess for the next 50, 60 years.
Before the Civil War in 1857, the Supreme Court's decision of the Dred Scott case was pivotal to the hopes and dreams of enslaved African Americans. After traveling with his owners to the Greater North, Scott attempted to sue for his freedom to no avail.
He figured because they were free states that he was free. But the Supreme Court ruled that, well, you're not really a free person, you're property. So, of course, the abolitionists and African Americans, free and enslaved, were hoping for a better verdict.
One of the darkest times in American history, and still they sang. And they brought with them their native African musical instincts to this land and created. How can we sing a song in a strange land? They did. And if they did, I certainly can and should.
In the water, children wade. In the water.
The slave songs, also known as Negro Spirituals, derived during that time, expressing how the slaves felt about their freedom, and Weidman fully enjoys performing the songs.
I enjoyed the music myself. I heard it all my life, and it's part of my background. I own it. And the songs, I think, are important and have value. So I include those with a whole bunch of other types of forms of music.
For information on tour dates and recordings of James Weidman, go to jamesweidman.com. For Push Pause in East Meadow, this is Archie Snowden.